In this video, I'm breaking down the top 10 meme coins to trade right now, including a clear 10x and another 50x. I'll also show you which memes I believe have already topped and why it's critical to know the difference if you don't want to get left holding the bag. My friends, this is not just another list, it's a real-time trading roadmap that's based on momentum, based on setups, and also pure edge. At the end of this video, I'm also going to share a very important message you won't want to miss, especially if you're really serious about making money in this market. Smash that like button, drop a comment, let's get onto it. No time to waste. So my friends, we start with Troll. Perfection. What a beautiful trade. I have no words. Look, if you're following the show, like, I hope you're all making money. I'm getting DMs. People are like, wow, how did you predict the top? It was the fibs, man. Let me put these fibs a little bit more clear. Okay, I plotted these fib lines. Fib lines are very important in meme coins to establish tops, especially when price is about to break out and you don't know how high it could go. Look, it came and touched our 4.2 fib extension, right at the top of the extension. This was plotted in the 22nd of April. And we are now in the 3rd of April. So about 10 days ago, that's when I plotted these fibs, just in case the chart would go this high. It actually did. Amazing. Look, I hope you all took profits on this. If you want to leave like a small moon bag, it's okay, because you should be up massive. This trade from our start was actually a 10x trade, a little bit more than a 10x actually, but this was another 10x given to every single one of my followers on this show. Now, let me share you something interesting. If you were on Axiom, what you could have done is you click here on sell, you go on limit at the bottom, usually it's at market, you go on limit, you click at the place you want to sell, you put the amount of SOL. Oh, I want to sell, you know, whatever, 30 SOL. Then you click sell. Once the price hits that, it's not going to go higher until you get filled. And this is also, if you have like big bags, it's a healthier way to sell into this market. But let's say, oh, I didn't sell the top because I was asleep. That's not an excuse, because you could have sold on a limit order. You could have stacked a bunch of limit orders, like all throughout 38 to 40 million market cap, 41 million, just stack a bunch, and they would, all of them have gotten filled, and the price will not move until you get filled. So another reason why you should be using Axiom. So there's a link down below. As I said, join Axiom. This is the best terminal to trade anything on chain, AI, meme coins, whatever it is. This is where you're going to trade the most alpha. This is where you're going to get the 10x's. This is where you're going to get filled on those bottom calls. Okay, if you want to trade professionally, you have to start using limit orders. Okay, meme coins must be taken seriously, because look, a 10x trade, who doesn't want to 10x their money? And so you need to start taking meme coins and AI coins more seriously, and you need to start using limit orders. And that's why I'm like telling you guys about Axiom, because this is actually a great tool. Now let's move on to the next, Housecoin. Housecoin did come to the first support level, which is 47.7 million. If you left limit orders close to this, you would have gotten filled. It came and touched for a second time, as I was predicting. I did say I thought it was going to go lower to 39.32, and I still think it's going to go there. Okay, but it just printed a new all-time high, and so you should be taking profits. In theory, you could be up anywhere from 2x to 90%, maybe 80% on this trade. But that's what happened to Housecoin. It's so bullish, it just printed a new all-time high out of nowhere, because this is a new pump swap coin and they don't have as much liquidity as the previous ones. And so it can actually even go higher, but I would not recommend anyone buy this at this level. Okay, this is not a place to buy. Even if it goes higher, don't get angry at me. That's not a trading strategy. You're just throwing money and gambling. Okay, trading strategy is you wait and you be patient and wait for your entries. So as I said previously, 39.32, I still think it's going to go there. When it comes to the 47 million market cap level, you could leave like a limit order stack there close. Maybe, you know, you could see the price do something like this and then rebound, and your limit order could still be hit. So join Axiom, stack limit order at the proper levels. Now let's talk about scalping. Scalping is also a strategy. When it comes to scalping house, the level is very obvious. I think it's this level. I think there's a good chance the price is here if you want to scalp it. Okay, this is a very high risk trade, comes here and then it bounces. But when you're scalping, don't set your take profit targets too high. Look, a 20% trade is good, maybe even a retouch at all-time highs, but I think like something like a 20% trade would be good. For scalping, I would maybe enter here at 74, maybe a bit lower, 72, go for that 20, 30, 40% scalp and then exit here. This could be like a good trade, but I do think it's gonna go lower. So when it comes to Housecoin, let's wait for a pullback. We need a decent, proper pullback to feel comfortable about our entries, because that's what smart money does. Think of it like this. Support and resistance, these are liquidity places where a lot of people sold, a lot of people bought. And the price always tends to go to the liquidity pockets. Some people call them fair value gaps. So the price will go to a fair value gap. It's probably going to go to this midterm place, probably going to go a little bit lower. And we just got to wait. Even if this thing goes from 90 million all the way to 200 million non-stop, people buying the top are not good traders, okay? They're just getting lucky, they're just gambling, or maybe they have some inside info. But the truth is, you have to wait for the pullbacks. Troll gave us pullbacks, Dark gave us pullbacks, House already gave us pullbacks previously, and it's going to give us another entry, perfect entry again. Stay tuned, pay attention to House, because this is one of the most important coins to be paying attention to. Now, on to the next, POPCAT. Not much has changed to POPCAT. It is coming and touching this high here on 14th February, some resistance, the price came in touch. I do think there's going to be a continuation of the trend. 629 is still in play. We should be up massive on POPCAT. If it comes and retouches this 232 million market cap zone, that's when you load the bag on POPCAT, to be honest. But it all depends on Bitcoin, of course. We need to talk about Bitcoin at the end. Let's get on to AWR. AWR came, did a retouch almost of our previous support, and it's now on track back to our 10x target, which is 10 million market cap, a little bit more than 10x actually, 11 to 12x, because we entered pre 1 million market cap here. You just had to be patient throughout all of this accumulation. But AWR is looking very good, and it's looking like it's on track, printing a giant parabola. Actually, this looks like it's a cup and handle type format, and the cup and handle, I think, is basically formed, and it's now primed to continue to coil up. So that's AWR. I still think we're on track, and we're almost hitting our main target there. Now, RFC doesn't look good. Sell. I'm out. Don't care. It broke structure. Looks like trash. I don't care. Look, it was at 100 million. It's now at 16 million. There's no steam. There's no interest. I need to see a reclaim. I'm not even going to buy at these levels. Like, I need to see this thing break above 32 million and then retouch 32 million. I need to see something like this. That's when I enter. I need to see some real interest. But right now, it's a bad coin. It broke structure. Doesn't look too good here. So if you want to take a big risk, go ahead. But there's better things to trade. Always buy momentum, okay? There's no momentum on RFC. Wait for the momentum, and that's when you enter. Now let's get on to Dark. Dark, I think, is going to go lower. It doesn't look like structure is going to hold. The next target is going to be very close to the previous support line. Support here. Maybe a third touch of support at 13 million market cap. If 13 million doesn't hold, it's going to go between 10 and 9. This is the next level. If this doesn't hold, though, it's not going to be very bullish for Dark. But that's what I'm seeing. This is a good place to accumulate Dark. Maybe it's not going to touch 13 million. It's going to be coming and making a higher low because the previous low was 13 million. So stack some limit orders between 13 and 15 million, for example. Maybe one at 16.5. Stack a bunch of limit orders there. Just wait. And then what I think can happen is a bounce to this level, and that's when you sell. I think Dark is looking good for a good 60% scalp. That's what the chart's telling me. And I would not be waiting for new all-time highs unless on the day Dark bounces, Bitcoin is also going up. Otherwise, just take your scalp and be happy with it, because we just had 2 massive months. We just had insane on-chain season. Right now, there's no new coins in terms of Memecoins and AI coming out and pumping, because all the liquidity is coming into the bigger ones, okay? Which is a good sign. But on-chain right now is not as good as it was 1 month ago when I started this channel. That's when it was perfect. That's why I started the channel at that moment. Right now, you have to be more careful. You should be up. You should have taken profits. You should have some stable coins there, and you should be more careful at this point, okay? Now let's get on to the next. Titcoin. Look, Titcoin hasn't broken structure. It went to 28, almost touched that previous resistance of 32 million market cap, but it didn't have enough steam for it. What I'm seeing is higher lows. That's what it's doing. Can it come to 13 again? Yeah, it can. Should you, if you want to accumulate, leave a limit order there? Yeah, of course. But what I would do is I would then sell on the next bounce. I think it can come right between 32 and 35 again. There's going to be a ton of liquidity here. There's a lot of people that bought here and they're still holding the bag. When it comes here, they're going to sell. So that's when you sell as well, because it's going to go into that fair value gap. Again, as I was saying previously, resistance point is a major sell point, okay, for a lot of people. Do I think it can bounce? Yes, I think it looks good. Still, if it breaks this structure, I think it's definitely a sell, because there's going to be better things. And also you have to take this thing into consideration. Housecoin won, Titcoin lost. Titcoin lost, 𝗵𝗏𝗏 lost. All the other coins lost. Housecoin was the winner. They were all competing to be 𝗕𝗏𝗥𝗧𝗏𝗏's beta, and Housecoin is the prime one. So if you have Titcoin and you don't have Housecoin, maybe you should consider switching a majority of your port of Titcoin into Housecoin, because Housecoin is the superior one. This is not an opinion, this is fact. Just look at liquidity. 2.2 liquidity, Titcoin only has 1.3. It's not about market cap, it's about liquidity. That's what the whales buy. They buy the bigger liquidity pools. Now when it comes to Titcoin, the same thing. You go on Axiom, leave that limit order, drag to that level, say we want something like maybe 13.8. You put the amount of SOL you want to buy. That's it. and just leave it there and wait, because it's gonna probably bounce, and I think it's a good scalp. Now on to the next. AXBT still on target. I told you guys this was a good 3x trade. This was the bottom, and we are now up from our bottom. Call 2.5x. I do think that there's still a little bit more upside to that 194 million market cap. If you want to take profits, look, I think you can take profits here. Why? There might be some resistance here. We've already seen in the past 4 days a difficulty to break above this level, because this was support here, and was also support here, and was also support in December 2024. And honestly, if you did grab AXBT on that show that I talked about at the bottom, I think honestly it's a good sell. If you want to leave a small mood bag, like 10% of your bag, 5%, then do, because it might push a little bit higher. But I think this is a good place, honestly, to take our profits on AXBT. We didn't get a 3x, but we got a 2.5x, which is not bad under these conditions. And also, we should talk about �11. Now, �11 is the most important meme coin on the market. It is bouncing back. Let's see if it can break this resistance and go to 1.5. If it goes to 1.5, here's what happens. It's going to push all the on-chain season higher. That's what's going to happen. It all relies on �11. It's the leading indicator for risk in crypto. Why? Big liquidity pool, 23 million there on that LP. This is what the whales are buying. It was the first one to lead all of this meme and AI season on chain, all these meme coins. If it goes and reaches our first target, it's just going to pull all of them, and I think we will have a little bit more of steam in these meme coins to go higher. That said, my friends, this is important. Right here, we had a change of structure. This was a clear bottom. I told everyone also 73k is probably going to be the bottom, and we had a clear look at this candle here. This candle here indicated that we were going to reverse. This one indicated just how bullish we are, but now we are encountering some resistance. If you look, the 94 to 95, 96 level on Bitcoin is where there's a lot of liquidity accumulated, and this is where shorts get completely annihilated. And so the shorts are getting completely annihilated. The longs have been waiting for quite a while, and they're piling up. People think it's a good time to long. I don't think so. You have to be careful here. Bitcoin is going sideways. This is massive resistance. If it breaks, yeah, then we're going to go to that 100k level, but there's some resistance here, so be careful. This is not the place to go all in on meme coins and take massive risk and start top blasting them. Be careful, because there might be a pullback on Bitcoin at this level to 85k, for example. So you have to be careful, and you have to understand that Bitcoin is at an undecided place, and so we need to wait to see what happens to Bitcoin so that we can be more confident about taking risk. I was confident about taking risk right at the bottom because I knew it was a bottom. I'm not as confident about us taking risk right here. So this is very important. While you're trading meme coins, always look at the Bitcoin price. If you are not sure where the price is going to go, then be careful with how you take risk on these meme coins. We already made a lot of money on these meme coins. Bitcoin isn't decided. Look at the news. BlackRock looking to tokenize shares, and Bitcoin is struggling with this bullish news, is struggling to break resistance. Okay, and it's at this fair value gap, which is basically a bearish fair value gap, but there's a bullish one right here. So if we pull back, that's when we go mega aggressive on lower market cap stuff even. But that's what I'm seeing. Be careful. This is a time to be careful. Let's wait for confirmation. Do not take massive risk at this point. Wait for confirmation from Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts pumping, if it prints a green day and it comes to 96, 97, then okay, we can go back to risk, definitely, because it's probably going to go to 100k. But we need confirmation first, okay? Confirmation is everything. Thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed. Let's see if tomorrow things are a little bit more bullish. There's still good setups, but remember what I told you on this show. Be careful. Do not top blast. It's not the time to top blast. I have a ton of experience with meme coins. Be careful right now, okay? See you guys tomorrow.